welcome in. This is a reading for Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine, soulmate, twin flame, personal journey, what have you. The channeled message is don't be afraid to wait. It implies some sort of, there's an impatience on your part perhaps, where you feel like things are stagnating, but it's basically saying like don't be afraid to slow down, don't be afraid to pause. You probably feel very impatient. Everything will come in due time. Perhaps you've lost your trust in the universe and trust that everything happens for a reason, or that there's some sort of plan that you don't really see that will work out in some way. Okay, here we go. So, according to this, I mean, root of the matter, it's possible you've been like kind of in a state of maybe even just wanting to feed your dissatisfaction in any various way, whether it's watching lots of TV, movies, Netflix, YouTube, to feel like you have gotten content, feel like you've gotten something. But I'm just getting a really strong feeling of dissatisfaction and just like an itch you can't scratch. So here we go. First card, can I get a single card, please? High Priestess reverse, the negative of High Priestess. Stubborn, obstinate, and feeling that you know best. I'm gonna take my phone off of here. Sorry about that. We got anything else? Also just a unwillingness to see the universe doing its thing. The universe at play. The universe, yeah. And it's kind of getting you stuck. Yeah, right as I'm saying that, 3 of Wands reversed. You're letting the minor things, you're allowing the trees to obscure your view of the forest. Some sort of victory is coming though. More Empress energy reversed, just like the High Priestess. Despite you feeling out of sorts and unrooted and crabby, there's going to be a victory. We're rising up from that. The rising up, the victory is from this down and out kind of feeling, just not knowing you're like you've submitted basically to whatever is going on that is out of your control. There is some aloofness in terms of the love, any sort of love connections. That could be like towards non-romantic as well. Just not feeling it. Kind of like, do I have to know anyone anymore? You know, with all the horrible stuff that you have to see online now. Just horrible. I myself ask myself, do I need to know anyone anymore? Like, can I just, like, not know anyone anymore? I was on all these different platforms and just hearing about the most horrible stuff that's happening to people. Within families, too. That girl on the cruise ship, oh my God, and her stepbrother. I can't even watch it. It's partly my spiritual awakening and partly, I think, just trauma. I'm traumatized. But even more so, before my spiritual awakening, I was still traumatized. I was probably more traumatized than I am now. I've had some healing. But I would watch this stuff and I would, like, take it in. Like, I wanted to know. I was just so, like, wanting to know the truth. And now I'm just like, you know what? I'm turning this off. I can't deal with it. It's kind of how when people have a spiritual awakening, they can't, for a whole year during my spiritual awakening, I couldn't eat meat. But I've gone back to it. Unfortunately, I have anemia issues, so don't judge me. I think I would be vegetarian if I could. But yeah, I can't handle it anymore. I have to turn it off. And then I sit there traumatized. I sit there just in a state. Like, I sit there not feeling well. It's kind of like what I'm talking about. Just a resigning to the way things are a bit. To the things that are outside of your control in the world at large. We are talking about the state of your personal spiritual self. We got another card. Where is that coming from? Things are not feeling happy. Things are not feeling whole, great, content. No happy life. Happy family. Upright, this is kind of an empathy, like a card for someone who has a lot of empathy. They're kind, they're loyal. So that is not present here. 10 of Cups could also, in the wider world, the world at large, be talking about how people's values are conflicting. People aren't seeing eye to eye. People aren't talking. Who was it that said that recently? Was it the Pope that was talking about how people aren't talking, people aren't communicating, and how important that is? I had a dream, I had an astral dream right around the time of the Charlie Kirk thing, where I saw a hand, and you know, like he however you feel about him, I saw a hand in the dream, and it kind of looked like his hand. It looked like a lifeless hand, though, and it looked very, how would you call it? Like 80s synth wave, 80s. I get like artistic, cultural, very strong aesthetics references in my dreams, and so I had this dream, and in the dream somebody said, I'll get like a clip of someone saying something. Somebody said, why is nobody talking? Hopefully that wasn't too long of an explanation to explain what my dream was. And so the 80s synthwave thing, I dug really far into it. I went down the rabbit hole, and it's like pop futurism. It has to do with the mall a lot, consumerism. Remember how we've had that whole resurgence of the mall dreams that people have had that claim to be in the GATE program? Look that up if you haven't on the TT app. It has to do with kind of commodifying experience, commodifying communication, commodifying like our culture to like corporatizing it. And I really think that a large part of what's about to happen in the world has to do with this. It has to do with these kids who are, they don't have an option to, I'm millennial, older millennial, but I think a lot about the Gen Z population, and I think that these kids have no options. Like, yeah, like, you know, alcohol is horrible for you spiritually, but what are you supposed to do? I have kids coming to me. I had someone come to me the other night, and they were trying to get advice, and they were like, well, my friend and I, like, we drink a lot, we do drugs. What am I supposed to, like, I wouldn't expect them to not be kids. I wouldn't expect them to not do the thing. I wouldn't expect them not to mess up in life, or to be like, you know, afraid and just isolated and staying home all the time, especially after COVID. I just saw something about, there was a roundtable discussion, and somebody said the reason why younger people aren't having kids is because of social media, because it like scares people into conformity. It scares them into like being commodified. I'll try to link it. I'm gonna start linking more stuff that I mention. Hopefully I remember everything. Sometimes I'll remember like a day later that I referenced something. But yeah, anyway, that's my diatribe for today. Hopefully it was interesting. I think I might change the format so that you can like see my face at least instead of some table. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Here we go. Or maybe it's fine if you just hear me talking for 5 to 10 minutes. You can see my face other ways, right? You can go on my TikTok lives at 8 Eastern Standard. The TT app. Standing one's ground. It's hard to do that, right? With all this stuff that's going on. For someone who's a spiritual person who has a lot of feelings, it can be really hard to do that. And for anyone who's a skeptic who's watching, it is significant, at least for me, it's significant which cards come out, when the cards come out, what else I'm saying right before that. That's how a lot of things in the spiritual world work. That is how angel numbers work. With angel numbers, you want to remember precisely what you were thinking a second or less before you saw the angel number. That's how you know what it's giving you confirmation on. So these kind of work like angel numbers. This is like, you know, you have a forking path. What's the forking path when I'm talking? Oh, it's telling me to go this way. So you're holding on to something. You have had a lot of anxiety. I know that I have. You have had a lot of people have had a lot of anxiety about like having your convictions. And there's a lot of worry that doing that is the wrong thing to do. That you're choosing the wrong thing. That you have, like maybe you have, you know, 4 different options and you're worried that you are sticking with the wrong thing. And this is the better option, or this one, or this one. That you're selling yourself short. I literally just heard one of my other readers that I watch, MJ. I heard her talk about how selling yourself short, and that really resonated. King of Swords, can we quit this? Let's put this in the King of Swords. It has to do with a masculine. You're not sure or has to do with your view. Like, this can be an all-seeing eye kind of thing. This is someone with a good perch. Like, they can see a lot. They have a good perception of, like, all the moving parts that are going around in the world, or, you know, personally, in their more intimate connections. Your fear is that you don't have a good view. Your view is skewed, or that there's a person you're dealing with who, like, isn't communicating, and you don't trust their view. You don't trust what they're telling you either. Can we get, because I like to do solution, like, what is the solution? What do you have? What's the advice? I like to do advice at the end. I do that on my lives. What is the advice that you have for the collective for the next half week until the next reading, or into the future? What do you have? What kind of advice do you have? The soulmate, the best option, might not always seem like the most shiny and new option, the most exciting option. There's some impatience, and they did come out the other way. I mean, they did come out like that. Impatience to move away from what you're dealing with, whether it's a person or a situation, whether you're connected to somebody, have anyone in mind, or on a personal journey. And this landed on my knee like that, and then it's flipped over, so I'm going to put it like that. That's sideways. You're not quite sure if you're headed towards that with this person, if you're headed away, if you're headed away from a solid, stable foundation, or an unstable one. Like, if it's unstable, this is a good idea, right? But if it's not, what are you gonna do? You made a mistake. Right as I was saying mistake. The Wanderer card. Your sense of adventure, your sense of wanting to start new endeavors, to go out into the world, is very strong. You're getting antsy, impatient, the Temperance reversed. Do we have any other advice? That might be good for today. I think that's good for today. There may be a Knight of Pentacles incoming. Or if you stick in the same place and grow what you have, you might be your own Knight of Pentacles. You might be the consistent, loyal, stable partner for yourself that you're seeking. I've never noticed how this cloak is mostly the sky. This body is mostly sky. And there's the stars down here. Usually you think of the pentacles as being very stable, very, like, earth-based. And you don't have that much earth on this person. It's very dreamy, almost. Like, the sky is the limit, the stars are the limit kind of feel. Instead of seeing yourself as stuck in a place or stuck with something or someone, see it as your path to expansion. I think that's good for today. I'll see you on Thursday for the next reading. You can always find me on the TT app doing lives, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, take care, bye.